Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disclaimer. If you recognize yourself or think we may have had a great love story in my head without you being aware of it, don't worry. I mostly have great memories of those. You almost always treated me right. And for the time you made me cry because you flirted with other girls in front of me, I forgive you. You didn't know. What? Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to say, all characters appearing in this work are fictitious. Any resemblance to a real person, living or dead, is purely coincidental. Except if I actually say your name or give your phone number. Then you can safely assume I'm talking about you, Joey Capelito. But let us start by talking about him. So, you might remember from last week. Ben has a girlfriend. I'm sorry, what? Yes, I told you, I always go for the unavailable man. What was I supposed to do here? Ask if he had a girlfriend? Well, when I flirt with a guy, I usually try to not be a buzzkill. Can you imagine? You look pretty tonight. Do you have a girlfriend? See? That doesn't make any sense. The argument here could be, are you sure he was actually flirting? And my answer would usually be no. But in this case, Denise saw it too. She tried to get some info from Pierre on Becky's girlfriend. The only thing we know so far is that she has good hair and they've started dating 5 months ago or something like that. It's decided. I will never see him again. But is it only me or him flirting hardcore with another girl only after 5 months in a relationship is a bad sign? I mean, a guy flirting after 10 years in a relationship because variety is a spice of life, I get that. But maybe it's because I'm French. But anyway, when the relationship is that recent, it's really more difficult for me to stay away. The thing is, I like chaotic love story. You know the kind, star-crossed, strong, passionate, impossible. Like Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker.
What?
The one that makes you suffer and feel alive. I want it so badly, and it terrifies me. And I don't have a brother anyway, so... But when a guy who is supposed to be already in a relationship suddenly is attracted to me, it's so disruptive. I feel suddenly like Juliet finally meeting my Romeo. Timing, circumstance, why gods? But you always have the risk that he is actually a fucking serial cheater. Oh, and of course he did text the next morning. Hi there, poor Stephanie dropped by the bar yesterday after you left. Smiley face. Pierre is leaving today, but let's try to hang out again soon, okay? Ugh, I hate the text that ends with okay, question mark. It's never really a question. What am I supposed to respond here? Okay, asshole? Or, Denise is leaving today too. Call me when you'll have broken up with your girlfriend, okay? Or, frog emoji. After a long brainstorming and multiple options exchanged in a group text with our third ex-roommate Stella, who is still in Paris, we chose the cool girl option with a side of private joke. So here it goes. Poor Stephanie. With 3 to show my enthusiasm, but no more than that, we didn't want to appear too eager. Hope she had a new wig. I'm out of town for a couple of weeks, but let's definitely catch up when I'll get back. He responded right away. Cool, talk to you soon. And I did not respond anything. Thank you. I was actually traveling for work, but to fight the urge to fall into this situation like Taylor on her treadmill in the Apple Music commercial, I decided to do the logical thing. Focus my energy and thoughts on something else, or rather, somebody else. So, I've texted Julian. It's a bit complicated to tell you who is Julian now, especially after pulling the whole I don't sleep with guy in relationships anymore. But Julian is kind of my lover, and he's not technically single. And wait, it gets better. He is related to my job. It's a nice story though, but I don't tell it too much because I don't want people who don't know me or how I work to see me as the Anna Nicole Smith of my industry. It started several springs ago during one of my first real business trips. I was 24, he was 37, and I just remember how attracted to him I've been right away, as if something dropped in my belly. I remember wondering if it was butterfly or pure physical attraction. Objectively, I don't think he's handsome. Attractive and charismatic, definitely. But handsome, not really. And I prefer it this way. Charisma age way better than beauty. I mean, have you seen Brad Pitt recently? During this trip, I don't know how, but we spent a lot of time alone together without planning anything. Well, I didn't plan anything anyway. But I'm ambitious and I, for sure, was not going to be the young, stupid girl who fell for the older Casanova during her first business trip. It was out of the question. But that only lasted until the second business trip we took together 3 months later. The first day my company had a happy hour cocktail, so needless to say, by 10 p.m. I was feeling like Rihanna. I had just the right amount of alcohol in my system to feel sexy and confident, but still in control. At some point, Julian grabbed my arm and said, You're coming with me. No way, and no will, to fight this. We walked out of the bar, and after maybe a minute, we were in a quiet, darker street. He stopped, pulled me to him, and kissed me. I let him for a moment and even maybe kissed him back just before pushing him away and start freaking out. I was like, no, I cannot do this. I'm not like you, I cannot, no. And he was like, what do you mean, not like me? Me, I cannot go around and sleep with everybody without feeling in every city I go to. Him sarcastically, yes, that's exactly what I do. I'm like a sailor, and I have several women in each city. Me, seriously. Yes, that's what I meant. I'm not like that. Him still calm. I'm not like that either. Who do you think I am? Listen, I'll be honest with you. There is something there, so I know eventually something will happen. But we can go at the pace you want. I just like to hang out with you. That was reverse psychology 101. Saying he could wait and take things slowly somehow made it less a priority for me since I expressed my concern and he understood them. After going back to make sure that everything was okay, going well, and ending at the cocktail, I accepted to go have dinner with him. It was nice and relaxed. At some point, we were talking about his life, and I kind of knew that already, but he confirmed that he had a girlfriend. In this situation, honestly, I was more bothered by the whole ease in my work environment. which was a big no-no for me at the time, then by the girlfriend. Yes, it bothered me, but not as much. Then he received a text and he said, "Moment, please, I have to reply to this. It's a text from my daughter." I'm sorry, what? He added quickly, "I'm divorced with her mom." Me, okay. At this point, there were almost not any room left to be surprised by anything with them. The whole evening has been a big "I'm sorry, what" situation. So I decided to take this, for lack of better word, relationship for what it was, a parenthesis in our real life. And it didn't have to be a bad thing. A cool, really attractive guy liked me and wanted some part in my life. We kissed a bit more, and that's it. Remember, I believed that sleeping with him would be deadly for my career. The work component here really added some major complication for me. I needed the time to feel stronger in my job. I've noticed something about every girl I know who are career-oriented, but not completely dead inside, and who can, while working like crazy during a business trip, still entertain the possibility of a little affair, to remember or not, between 2 and 4 in the morning before going back to their hotel room after their long day. They truly believe to their core that at work they are men's equal. I actually never even question it. And I think it impacts our sex life. Like men, Rihanna and Emma Watson, we can make the distinction between the one we could marry and the one we just fuck. And I feel that this distinction is more and more clear for women the more independent they are. Therefore, the more they manage to distance themselves from the society's grip. So, based on various experience, mine and others, don't ask, here are a few pointers on how to manage a balance between your sex life and work environment. Like a boss. Sleeping with your boss is a big no-no. Sleeping with a competition could be hot if you know how to shut up and avoid work pillow talk. Ideally, I would advise a guy who is not directly linked to your job, just enough for you to see him randomly, regularly, or never again, depending on your mood. But honestly, there is no rules. One of my best friends, Stella, slept with her boss' future business partner. And it was fine. You know why? Because she is a killer at her job. Nobody questioned it. She was always the best of them, from Timbuktu to Portland, Maine. Or Portland, Oregon, for that matters. It's only with time that I gained this self-confidence by kicking ass at my job and getting promoted for the right reason. Thanks to all my great empowered girlfriend, I've learned that it's okay to do whatever I want, as long as I don't listen the usually closed-minded slut-shamers. Remember who I am, and that no matter what, if I do my job flawlessly, there is nothing deadly. And yes, a bit later, I slept with Julian. But it was on my terms, when I felt comfortable with this, and it didn't make me feel like a cheap assistant who were sleeping her way to the top. It was something real, and that took the time to feel good about it. I know what you're thinking. Yes, it was great. And from there, only one way to go. Down. We never actually broke up because we were never really together. We just stopped checking up on each other. Until a few months back when we ran into each other. And we're happy to catch up. Anyway, he's a reassuring figure in my life. In a way, my longest relationship. Weird, I know. And every time I need him, he is here for me. Sometimes platonically, sometimes not. It really depends. Which brings us to last week. When, as I told you, I had a business trip and I needed something to keep my mind off of Ben. See where I'm going here? So yes, I texted Julian. We exchanged a few texts on Thursday and Friday, and we were supposed to see each other on Saturday for lunch. I told him I could do any time, the only restriction being that I had a meeting at 2:30. He texted me at 1:45 p.m. asking where I was. I responded, basically 20 minutes away from you. At this point, I started to get pissed at him, especially since for 2 days he was the one, "Oh, we must see each other, I've missed you so much, blah, blah, blah." He answered, "Is there any hotel around you?" What? Fuck the I'm sorry here. I mean, I know our relationship is a bit weird, but asking me to find an hotel to fuck for 15 minutes? I'm sorry, but for me, it's a pass. Seriously? What's wrong with this guy? I think he understood that I was pissed at him because he responded, "Okay, I'm on my way. I would like to invite you for lunch at my apartment." Seriously, dude? 15 minutes? Okay, so this is a moment for the 8 guys who are listening to this podcast. Even if you think the girl is good to go, there is 2 things you need to think about. First, the form. Like, act at least as if you cared a little bit about the girl. And 2, the girl's pleasure. And I can assure you that 15 minutes, including taking off and back on your clothes during the lunch break, is not enough. Maybe for you, but then why would she make the effort to please you if you don't even think about her? Well, I didn't. I simply responded, "Thanks, but no thanks. Not in the mood." And if I'm being honest here, I was not so much into seeing him. And the only person I can blame here is Ben. Anyway, since Julian failed to distract me, I need to find a new guy who I like at least a little bit to compete with my attraction for Ben. Last year's flavor wasn't enough. That's why I accepted to go on a date tonight with this guy, John. I met him at my friend's rooftop party. He asked for my number after we talked for a while. I really didn't think he would call since he waited 2 weeks to do so, but the guy actually contacted me, so I have a date with him. I don't really remember what he looks like, but I remember having fun talking to him. And our mutual friend told me he's cool, so finger crossed. Anyway, at least he's single, I think.